Very good afternoon to all the panelists on this dais. And as Dr. Ajay Kumar has set out the theme for the afternoon, it's ESDM and emerging paradigm. I would now look forward to Shri Pankaj Mahindru, the National President of the Indian Cellular Association, to share his perspectives also in terms of his association with the Telecom Sector Skills Council. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon. The Telecom Sector Skill Council is what is the most relevant thing for you guys, and I was very happy to know that the NIELT franchisees are all private sector entrepreneurs. Now, the opportunity available is that we have to train 5 million people in the next 10 years in about 150 to 200 job roles. Not necessarily in manufacturing, but it's the entire ecosystem. Let me explain to you. It starts from mobile phone manufacturing, the component manufacturing, which is the mobile phone component manufacturing assembly, down to mobile phone repairs, tower maintenance, etc. So currently we have frozen 20 job roles which are getting rolled out. We are in the process of establishing the Telecom Sector Skill Council in terms of the staffing and so on. And I like the MD of this organization to build a memorandum of understanding and engagement program with the Telecom Sector Skill Council so that when we are accrediting the training organizations who will roll out our programs, we can use this great infrastructure which I believe is available to us. And so it will add to your business opportunity. So I think that is the one most important step. A little word of caution. We believe in doing only world-class things. The two manufacturing plants in India, which are the manufacturing ecosystems, are absolutely world-class. In fact, the Nokia Shri Prambadur operation is the world's largest mobile phone ecosystem. And currently, there is a big expansion which is going on at Samsung, which is in Noida, and also in Chennai. So these are two flagship manufacturing operations. If you look at the way the transition is happening from mobile phones to smartphones, and you see any of the Nokia priority dealers or the Samsung smart cafes, the objective there also is to do something world class. So the pool of 5 million people which we want to train, which is the mandate of the Telecom Sector Skill Council, is absolutely bring in, cutting edge, high quality manpower into Indian telecom, which is manpower which can be exported to the rest of the world also. That's the objective we are setting out. Symbolically, the first employee of the Telecom Sector Skill Council is a Duke University graduate. She's an MBA from the Duke University, and she worked for Apple in Atlanta. So Apple Atlanta is supposed to be the world's finest mobile phone sales promotion operation. You see, in the Apple ecosystem, which is rated as the world's finest in terms of customer care, Atlanta gets the #1 operation. So to ensure that the same quality is implanted in the DNA of the Telecom Sector Skill Council, we wanted to get a person like that on board. The other opportunities we have available is that we'll be manning this Sector Skill Council. So we need great employees there, people who have IT and telecom skills, along with the flair for education and training. It's a very difficult combination. So we find practitioners in telecom, but we do not find people who are practitioners and understand the industry well and have a flair for training. So if you come across such people, this is the second thing which we like to do. Coming to the core ESDM, now the Indian Cellular Association has been working very doggedly since the last 7-8 years to help establish the ESDM ecosystem of India. We have a vision and we have a belief that we should not do, pedestrian small things, and the ESDM sector will only get built with world-class capacities, which is, in a way, it is happening because while the rest of the electronic sector has not developed in manufacturing significantly, mobile phones, we have reached almost 12% of the world's production in India. And we export more than 100 million phones out of India. So, but we are not resting on that. We want to go up to nearly a billion figure for mobile phone manufacturing and the related ecosystem around that. How many job opportunities it will create? See, currently the direct jobs which the existing sector has produced are about 100,000. When we move to a billion, with the associated growth of the component sub-assembly and the further tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 manufacturers, this will create about 5 million jobs in all. So it's a big one, and I would encourage and implore you through your headquarters here that we should build a strong engagement, especially through the vehicle of the Telecom Sector Skill Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Pankaj Mahendra. And I'm sure that the telecom sector and the Cellular Association has a long way to go, given the fact under the National Telecom Policy, the emphasis is to enhance the rural tele-density from 48% to about 70 by 2017 and 100 by 2020. So I think there's a huge demand for jobs in the telecom sector. You yourself said over 150 categories of jobs. I've now moved to something which is more central and core to the electronics. The Indian Electronics and Semiconductor Association, represented by Shri Menon. I would like to request Shri Menon, the President of ISA, now known as IESA, to kindly share his perspectives from the perspective of the Electronic Sector Skills Council.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon. Let me try and set the discussion in context. The whole thing is predicated around, as we heard in the morning also, how much of manufacturing can we bring in. Today, electronics manufacturing is about just under 4.5% of GDP of India. 4.5% of a $2 trillion GDP. And this has the potential to grow to, we believe, between 12 and 13% of GDP in the next 10 years. So that is the scale of what we're looking at trying to achieve. That growth is possible only if we have manpower to drive it. And the manpower, when we look at it from an electronics and semiconductor perspective, it spans everything from, as Dr. Ajay Kumar mentioned, a 10th standard student who can be taught basic soldering skills or shop floor skills, to a PhD who can do chip design. Now, there are certain pockets of excellence we already have in the country. If I look at it from the semiconductor perspective, the ability to specify a chip as building blocks on a whiteboard and to take it to, as we call it, GDS2, which is to design the chip, program it, and then take it out to a fabrication facility. Unfortunately, either in Taiwan or Korea or Japan, that capability exists. With a caveat, the capability exists to be able to implement a design. The capability to conceptualize the chip does not exist. So in addition to having technical skills, what I would like to suggest to Dr. Sharma is, in addition to building technical capability, at the higher end of the spectrum, there has to be a flavor given particularly in some of your higher courses, about issues related to productization and training technology entrepreneurs on what is it that is involved in building a world-class product. Now, coming specifically to what we're trying to achieve in the Electronic Sector Skill Council, the mandate is to train 6 million people over the next decade. 6 million people over the next decade. And when we get started, we are also in the process of just setting up the Sector Skill Council. So the Governing Council is in place. We've got the chairman in place. The search for a CEO is going on. But the target is to train 6.5 lakh students every year. And this can only be done if we can work in close collaboration with organizations like NIELIT. The NVQF will come into place. Job roles are getting defined. Whatever starting skeletal staff we have are already in the process of putting the occupational standards in place and coming up with the frameworks. So the challenges are huge. But, and I'm echoing here what Pankaj just mentioned, the challenge is to build a workforce which is global from day one. So let me split this up. We've often heard of the demographic dividend, and I think even the minister talked about it in the morning. 60% of the population of India is below the age of 25. Now, this is a double-edged sword. The great thing is we have a young population. From an industry point of view, the youngsters go out, get jobs. The first thing they do is they buy mobile phones and flat panel displays. The other side of it is they're not going to settle for a second grade product just because it's made in India. People want to buy an Apple iPhone or a Samsung Note or whatever it is. They're not going to buy an Indian phone just because it's made in India. And when you come into the chip industry, it becomes even more complex because you cannot develop a chip only for India. You have to develop a chip that will be used around the world. And that chip is going to compete with chips being made by an Intel or a Texas Instruments or any of these companies, which have far more resources to throw at it. So what we need to, the secret sauce that we need to build in there is innovation and making chips which address uniquely Indian problems. Because if you can address problems which are unique to the emerging world, even if you address problems which are unique to India, you have a market all over APAC, you have a market in LATAM, you have a market in Africa. And believe you me, once you have a world-class product at an affordable price, even the global, the advanced markets are going to start using them. So the challenge is how do we build in world-class skill sets? And that is going to be through a combination of, and this is exactly what the Sector Skill Council is going to do. Once we define the job roles and the criteria, we are going to start finding out partners who can deliver that program. There is going to be an aggressive train-the-trainer program that is going to be rolled out. And when we come back to academic institutions, it is impossible for any Sector Skill Council to go down to the level of individual colleges. So what will happen is all the Sector Skill Councils, particularly electronics, and I was talking to the CEO of the ITS Sector Skill Council earlier in the day. Speaking for both of us, I think we are going to go aggressively out to do a train-the-trainer program, even faculty development programs. Otherwise, we cannot build a scalable solution. And for that, an organization like NIELIT becomes a very attractive organization to partner with because you know how to roll out trainings on scale in a nationwide format. And I think this is exactly the kind of learnings that we have to take from NIELIT as the Sector Skill Councils go forward. So I'm looking forward to, certainly in the coming year, a much deeper and closer discussion with NIELIT as we build on the ESSC. And as I said, the challenge is going to be, there's a phrase I keep using when I talk to my member companies, which is let's not do Me Too products. Let's do what is called innovation-led design and design-led manufacturing. So let's build world-class products made in India for the world. And that's going to be the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Menon. I think it was very inceptive the way you put it. And I'm sure we all recognize electronics is everywhere and electronics is going to rule our life. And unless and until we have trained manpower and see to it that the products are of global quality, we will perhaps not be able to make India a electronics manufacturing hub. Now, having said that, I would like NIELIT to look at this aspect which Mr. Menon has pointed out, the cascade theory, that everything cannot be done through the Sector Skills Council. Ultimately, it will have to be through a chain of activities going down to the grassroots level, the accredited institutions, to ensure that the requisite skills are imparted to the students and they in turn find jobs both as entrepreneurs and as workers or officials in various electronic manufacturing units. Thank you, Mr. Menon. The next panelist will be Mr. N.K. Goyal. I don't need to introduce him. He has multiple hats. But today he mentions to me that he is here as Vice President of ITU APT. Welcome, Mr. Goyal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Friends, before we move to the topic of today, I would like to put here a sincere appreciation because I am perhaps meeting him first time in an open platform of the association I represent, TIMA, CMI, ITU, for the work he is doing. The NoPhone project we all know, that is the world's largest project for broadband. Just imagine today we are struggling for a broadband of 1 MB, 2 MB, 3 MB, 4 MB, and he is planning for 100 MB. Imagine our country, what it would be. And that is also giving us lots of scope for empowerment, for e-governance, for digital literacy, as also for manufacturing. Because of his project, activities in India has increased multifold for manufacturing. So, sir, thank you very much, sir, for that. Thank you. And, sir, the other hat which he wears as a USO, where he is providing facility to the remotest corner of the country, there also he is promoting local manufacturing and local technologies also. So, we are thankful to you, sir, for that. Sir, coming to the topic of today, we have talked, everybody has so far known about the NIELIT, about the Knowledge Council, about the demand of the manpower, of the training also. But I am happy with the last sentence of Mr. Ravi Shankar that everything cannot be done by one single body. In fact, in India we have a very good tendency of talking something today, something yesterday, something tomorrow. Skill Development Council has come, most welcome, we need them. But we also need NIELIT, we also need ISA, we also need public-private partnership, we also need NVQA. And as was said in the morning by our Minister Sibbalji, that the government has formed a committee of all the cabinet ministers of 17 or so, because they realize that there are around 70 agencies involved in this type of job as of now, of giving the skill development or so. So we need all of them. Task is mammoth for all of us. And it goes beyond doubt to say that NIELIT has done the wonderful things and doing as of now. What we have done as an association in the ITU and CMI, we thought of doing something other than people are doing. So we have moved as a part of our activities, synergy between industry and education institutes. So we actively cooperate and deal with AICTE as a partner to them for promotion of vocational courses and EQA. We organize state-level programs in various states where we promote vocational courses as a skill development. And we also promote their ESDM. Our only wishful thinking, which I need support from Mr. Aswani of NIELIT, is I have a dream, personal dream, to have ESDM as a part of curriculum at the university level, which I am fighting. Because what I find, we live in lots of dichotomy in our country. One dichotomy is we have so many institutes, so many training scales, so many engineers also. On the other side, you talk to any industry, they say we don't get the people. So when we interview people in our companies also, we find they don't know anything about the government policies. Government has done, in fact, Mr. Ravi Shankar and Dr. Ajay Kumar, not here now, they have done a lot to promote these 3-4 policies, telecom policy, IT policy, cluster policy, ESDM policy. But down the line, our engineers doesn't know this thing. So, sir, what we have done, I want to brief you and other panelists here, that we organize debates in the states for ESDM and alternate energy. And suddenly people ask me, what is ESDM, what is manufacturing, why should we need the manufacturing? So that reason I want to promote as a curriculum. I just want to say one last word about the world class. Let's not bog down by the world class. Even world class is not what we know today. It will change after 6 months or 1 year or so. Let's start immediately what we have. NIELIT is doing good job. NVQ is doing good job. We have so many institutes doing good job. So we'll go ahead. We'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal, and thank you. You have been one of the spokesmen for indigenization and preferential market access, and that's a prop for the electronic and telecom industry. The next panelist is Dr. Ajit. Dr. Ajit is Director of the NIELIT Center at Calicut, Kozhikode. And I would like to request him to share his perspective, because he has had a deep involvement in actually training manpower for the electronic and IT industry. And I'm sure his perspectives, because must give you a little insight into that NIELIT Center of Calicut, which is one of the very old CEDTs and Center for Electronic Design Technology, which has earlier been involved from that particular perspective. Over to you, Dr. Ajit. I think you have some presentation. Okay, please.
I shall limit my talk to electronic system design and not to manufacturing, which I think my colleague may be talking on. So, actually, I'll talk about the hardware skill requirements or skill requirements in the field of electronic design and the business opportunities in that area. Actually, our center, we are now earning a major portion of our income only from activities in electronic system design. We are conducting 2 MTech programs, one in electronic system design technology, another in embedded systems, and 4 or 5 PG diplomas in fields related to electronic system design. So, as our minister had said, good things are not noticed unless there is a controversy. So same way, I think our activities are not noticed because we have been silently doing it and earning revenue. So we are also doing a lot of consultancy projects in the field of electronic system design, and I'm fortunate to have a good team of people also. And myself, I have also been very lucky to have been involved throughout my career in the field of electronic system design. I passed my BTech from IIT in 75 and straight away was involved in electronic system design. My first task was design of a microprocessor based system, the olden days the Z80 based numerical control system. And subsequently I was also fortunate to receive right here in Delhi in 1985 an award for the best design for designing a 386EX based numerical control system. And so I have seen how the design methods, the design components, everything has evolved over the years. In the initial period, it was done manually using manual schematics, and today we have highly powerful electronic design automation tools, where you can very quickly design even hardware using hardware description languages such as Verilog, System C, or VHDL. So now it is with this background that we have been designing and conducting our courses in electronic system design. So as a initial step, we had conducted a study to find out what are the actual skill requirements in the electronic system design industry. Therefore, I'll briefly go through that study I had conducted and then tell you about the business opportunities. So, actually the first, this is not the first. Okay. Actually, we had interaction with a large number of semiconductor and electronic system design companies in Bangalore and in Trivandrum Technopark. So, initially we started with a meeting with, no, but there is another. Okay. I think one slide is missing, I think. Okay. Initially we had a meeting at Indian Institute of Science, where we had representatives from many leading semiconductor companies such as Synopsys, design companies, Cadence, and National Semiconductors, and we had the design manager of Analog Devices, vice chairman, mate, manager from Intel Technologies. We had participants from Indian Institute of Science, Professor Andre Pittet, and so many industry representatives. So based on that, we found out, the summary of that discussion was, there is a growing requirement for electronics design engineers with proper hard and soft skills. A huge gap exists between the output produced from the academic institutions, from the formal sector, and the actual skill requirements in the industry. It takes at least a year for a freshly graduated student to become industry ready. Fresh graduates have been found to be lacking in application design fundamentals required in practical design. So subsequent to this, I had a one-to-one meeting with specific companies in Bangalore and Technopark. So the topics for this discussion, those companies were GE Power Controls, the Director of Technology of that, the General Manager of Philips Semiconductors, Wipro Technologies Vice President, Robert Bosch General Manager, and Mindtree Vice President. With these people, I had a one-to-one meeting in their company and along with the group heads of those companies. And the topics for the discussion, major topics were, what are the major gaps in the competency levels of the electronics engineers produced by this thing, and what are the areas of electronic design. I'll rush through because the time is a constraint, and all that. And finally, we found out the list of gaps. That is, lack of exposure to recent developments in electronics, lack of awareness about latest processors. I'm sure all of you who are aware of this field will agree, because even now in the engineering syllabus, what is taught is only the 8-bit processors mostly, and little bit on 16-bit, whereas the industry presently uses only 32-bit ARM processors and multi-core processors. So anyway, I think since a large section of the audience are not technical, you can just skip through the various gaps, maybe. And maybe those who are interested can get the details of the gaps from me. So based on this, and another requirement pointed out by the industry was, NIELIT, at that time they mentioned about DOEC, could conduct competency assessment test with high rigor in specified topics in electronics. So the other points are it's difficult to get good ready-to-use hardware design engineers. Engineers working in smaller companies have better system knowledge compared to those working in big companies. And existing BTech and MTech have too much focus. So what I would like to say is, this provides an excellent opportunity for training institutes to train the people, engineers who pass out of our formal education system and make them industry ready. And that is what we have been doing successfully. We have a PG diploma course, 6-month PG diploma course in embedded system. We have 6-month course in embedded hardware and VLSI design. We have a 6-month course in embedded wireless and mobile applications. We have a 6-month course in ASIC design and verification, and another course on industrial automation control system design. Now, these courses we have been conducting over the last so many years, and the response has been good. And actually, I am proud to say that one of our students was won even the All India competition, design competition conducted by Cyprus Semiconductors. And he got 1 lakh cash prize, and the faculty who guided got a prize of 50,000. So this just to show you that about the quality of our courses. And right now, based on the demand, we have decided to launch all these courses on an all India scale. We are planning to launch it on an all India scale, and all institutions who are willing to set up the necessary infrastructure and have trained their faculty and conduct the training to our quality standards can have the opportunity of conducting this training. Because we have students from all over India, and I feel it's a golden opportunity. Because as for the training, we will be making all the learning material. We are preparing a source book where the day-to-day, what is to be taught, the PowerPoint material, the experiments which have to be conducted in the labs, because all our courses have 50% lab and 50% theory. So all these things we are trying to get ready, and that's what I wanted to tell about the opportunities in the field of electronic system design. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ajit. I think you have brought out the fact very clearly for a industry-institution partnership. People ought to know what are the industry practices, and as you said, a number of small companies enable people to appreciate and understand system design very well. And I think it augurs well that the Sector Skills Council and institutions like NIELIT need to work in close coordination and cooperation. I think the next speaker, Dr. Pillai, will bring that perspective, because NIELIT Chennai was set up as a need of the industry in Tamil Nadu, specifically the growth of the semiconductor and the electronic industry in and around Sriperumbudur area. And I would like to request you to kindly share your perspective.
Respected Chairman, co-panelists on the dais, my colleagues from NIELIT, training partners, students, a very good afternoon to you all. In fact, I made a little bit elaborate presentation giving more statistics regarding the training requirements and the skill gaps. With the permission of Chair, I'd like to make the presentation. Before going to the actual the presentation, I just wanted to say about the center which I come from. I am from the NIELIT Chennai Center. It's an initiative initiated by Sri Ravi Shankarji. During his period, the center was established at Chennai. We are working on these 4 thrust areas, that VLSI and embedded systems. Automotive electronics, there are many automotive industries around Chennai. So automotive electronics is one of the area we are working. IT security and information storage and advanced IT applications. These are the 4 thrust areas we have been working for the last 2.5 years. We have got very good response, and we are conducting a number of short-term intensive training programs, as well as we are implementing the DOACC various schemes in that region. And we are implementing a couple of sponsored project and skill development programs too. So now come back to this ESDM capacity building. The opportunities just I wanted to highlight. So these are many platforms you might have seen these statistics. For the information of our training partners who are basically from the IT field, I just wanted to give a impact of what is going on in the field of electronics industry. So this is a target of $100 billion to 400 in 2020. This is a huge potential of electronic industry is ahead. This leads to a huge opportunities on ESDM capacity building of various industry segments. You can classify the industry segments in electronics into semiconductor design, high-tech manufacturing, electronics components, EMS and assembly, electronic system design. If you see the employability index, which is in the semiconductor design, of course it's a little bit low compared to the high-tech manufacturing. And electronic components also, it is medium, like your high-tech manufacturing. Whereas EMS assembly, it's very high. That I am also witnessing in Chennai. There are many industries around, like Nokia, Flextronics, Foxconn, all these. They employ huge number of people with 10th qualification or 12th qualification for their assembly shop or floor shop requirements. The design area also we have medium requirement compared to the semiconductor design. This gives you an approximate idea. So there is a potential of employment generation with 70,000 jobs expected by financial year 2014 and 200,000 jobs by financial year 2020. So this is the manpower requirement in electronic industry, the various sector-wise this thing. It includes a little bit IT hardware also. When we talk about ESDM, we are pure into the electronic design systems and other things, but here the IT hardware also included. If you see, the major portion is of IT hardware industry. It shares around 31%. The next is in the telecom equipment. Also, there is good opportunities. Similarly, for the consumer electronics, also have around 19% of human resources requirement. And component industry, similarly, the strategic electronic industries. So from this, we can say the consumer electronics and computer IT hardware has got maximum requirement of human resource related to electronics. So you see classification of HR. If you see what kind of manpower we need design-oriented persons required for the production job and the assembly line activities. So if you see the technical knowledge, the design-oriented activities need a person with a PhD level qualification. Of course, the number requirement is very less in design, and investment is very high. This is what the classification. And the courses required for a design-oriented, these very specialized courses we need. And the duration of the course also very long duration. These kind of courses are mainly offered by the premier institutions, and we, like our Calicut Center, Aurangabad, and Chennai also, we started offering these kind of courses. And number of courses as present available, if you see, it's very low, which caters to the design-oriented manpower. Then production, you need a middle or BTech diploma level technical knowledge is required. And there also the numbers is very medium. Investment is also very medium. Now, BTech and the diploma, we have many engineering colleges producing graduates every year. And these institutes are located all over the country now. So there are very many courses, number of courses maybe more than 10, and variety of electronics branches are available. The assembly line where we have more requirement is catered by a diploma holders or ITA or 10+2 level candidates. Here large number of institutes are there, even in tier 3 cities. Basically the ITAs and polytechnics supply demand for these kind of activities. There is a skill pyramid, a varied profile of skill required by industry across different sectors, if you see. Sorry. We have the skill level 1, that is in the shop floor level, those persons who are employed in assembling and other things, it's 19% to 21%. And skill level 2, that is a skill which requires technical training inputs, knowledge of complex operations, machines, skills, and supervision, like CNC machine operations, and we have PCB machine operations. These kind of activities is level 2. Level 3, which is having maximum 49% to 50% is skill which requires long-drawn preparations, demonstration of acquisition of degrees involved in higher technical orders, that is design, making the complex design, service and maintenance, all these activities. And the level 4, with specialization involving the research and design, there is a 4 to 5%. This is the skill pyramid. And for the training institute like you, can cater more into the skill level 1, which can be taken up, because skill level related courses are mostly in the non-formal sector, like what the OAC, OAB level courses types. Based on all these reports, MIT has made many recommendations. I will not go into details. These things are available in the MIT reports. They have suggested that we should go for many short-term, non-formal courses, value addition programs. Also, we should go for a finishing school type and making a national regional center of excellence. All these are the recommendations of MIT. And even the 12th plan also, the government has given thrust on this. And they also set the certificate level up to PG doctoral level, covering areas of right from manufacturing and design should be started. These are the recommendations of the 12th plan. So now this very clearly shows there is a huge requirement of manpower at all levels, from the assembly to design level. Now, what are the challenges in building these capacities? So now we are emerging as a ESD hub. So manufacturing, leave it, I'll come to that. So there is no doubt we have shown our capabilities in electronic system design, and now we are slightly moving away from strictly an outsourced industry. So far we were doing only outsourcing work. Now we have capabilities to do our own design. So now this is a challenging opportunity for us. Now our engineers should move to actual production innovation, and they should have a product ownership in mind. The MNCs are present here not only to cater the growing demand of local consumers, but they are also here to tap the vast talent pool available in the field. So far, we have designed end-to-end product for almost all multi-billion-dollar companies. Most of our designs are working in many products which you normally use in your consumer, whether it's a washing machine or TV or players, anything. See, Indian designs are there inside. But we are yet to become our own manufacturing hub. We are not able to establish it. To take the driver's seat in manufacturing, what we need is we have to encourage indigenous product development by creating an ecosystem for product development, manufacturing, consumption. To create a product is not very easy. We require a proper talented, skill-oriented persons in this. So now another interesting thing, most of the designs, the 60 to 70% I would say, based on a software, today's system development is more of software than hardware. We have already proven our capabilities in software. So that is an added strength to us. It's also true that R&D in hardware is a very capital intensive activity. It's not like a software development. And another difficulty in hardware is the technology is shifting very fast. So what is available, the processor today is not there after 6 months. It is a challenging task, not only for the industries, even for the faculties who are teaching, they have to also upgrade their knowledge constantly to cope up with these developments. So now, though the hardware R&D is very capital intensive, now there are many tools available that using these advanced tools, the simulation tools, we can start any hardware design activity without much capital investment. So there is no need to design and validate expensive ASICs anymore. So many applications, particularly low power applications, can be done on general purpose processors which are available very low cost. So we are witnessing rapid advances. Every new generation technology brings newer phenomena and challenges. The HRD programs have to step ahead of the actual demand crisis. Financial, physical resources can be sourced, but human resources have to be nurtured. The challenges are identification and developing appropriate skills. The problem is industry always says that we are not getting the adequate trained manpower. What they need, what kind of skill they are expecting is to be brought out. See, there are various stages in research, design and development. So I have put some slides. I'll go quickly. So you can classify into various activities. Like basic research, we need manpowers. Now applied research, from the basic research, you get a published information. From the published information, you can go for a applied research. Then based on that applied research, a prototype is developed and you can go for a product development. From the product development, you can do a pilot production. And finally, we can go for a manufacturing. All these activities require a variety of skilled persons. So from this, we have to identify, because we need to have all these manpower to create our own indigenous products. These are the various stages. And now, what is happening in the academic program? So we say that we have so many electronics engineers available in the country. So why we are not able to do it? The basic reason is there is overemphasis on information technology. I'm sorry to say many IT people are here, but we have diverted our attention last 15 years towards IT. And most of the programs conducted by institutions, whether in the formal or non-formal, are targeting towards the IT requirements. And also, there is unstructured instructional design development. The projects work which is expected to give hands-on experience in designing the prototypes, some functional models. These are not done properly. See, that gives an idea for a student to develop a product. So what is happening in the third year itself, they get a placement. So they lose interest in doing the project. Somehow they get the project done. They make a nice report. Google is there. So they prepare the project reports and submit it. They don't seriously work on the project development. That gives you idea of product development. That is lacking in the present curriculum system. Lack of formal training in industrial establishment. Like an MBBS graduate, they do 1 year internship. That is must. Here there is no such arrangement for engineers. After completing, they go and get some hands-on. That is not there. Either they get in the college, they outside also they don't get. We keep on blaming the graduate that they are not employable. See, there is a need to provide very systematic methodology. See, anyway, this is not the entire electronics career. They learn product important design techniques more chance than rather-based systematic approach. That is a fact. So, come back to that's again on the course of electronics. Electronics is always attached with some other discipline. If you see electronics and communication, electronics, electrical and electronics, triple E they say, electronics and instrumentation, electronics and IT. There is no course as such electronic system engineering. This is the basic reason that we are not able to make any product design. We are not able to contribute. And also, there is no worthwhile training in design of electronic equipment, any engineering institution in the country. Sufficient number of well-trained teaching faculties are not available. This is another reason. The QIP programs are not much help when it comes to design-oriented thing. There is a great punctuality of good instructional material. We need a very good instructional materials. So I will go quick. The status of reputed academia that I don't want to highlight now because we have very elite institutions available. They concentrate more on mega research ideas and with a long-term vision. And there is a very poor resource sharing and coordination. Challenges are there because of time constraint. I'll go quickly. So industry needs a very short-term benefit. That, as earlier speaker said, there is a need to bridge the gap. So from where the students get their design development skills? For post-graduation, how many people can take post-graduation? It's not affordable for every student to go for a post-graduation. Once limited seats are there, then it's very expensive nowadays. If you go to private universities, they offer MTech, embedded system, VLSI, they charge 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs rupees. The only option is the non-formal. There, the people like you are there. So non-formal, there are large franchises are there, IIHT, JetKing, NIELIT, CAD, Apollo. These are all there for IT already they have proved. There are some other new entrants, they are doing good work in the franchise education. Electronics for You has entered into this training for non-formal training. HCL Academy, BSNL, these are all the people who are doing. Scientech from Intor, a famous manufacturing, instrument manufacturing, they are also into this. So, number of training centers are targeting engineering students. There are very small institute, training institute. They are targeting students only for their final year project work. This is happening throughout the country. But that is not a serious product design oriented education. So, there I have listed out some of the design oriented training institute who are doing some good work into embedded system and VLSI, all these areas. Because of time limitation, I'm going quickly. My slides are available. Anyone who wants, they can take it or download from my website. So there are some MNCs and industries also in the training activity. The national instruments like Agilent, Texas, all these players are there. Because if you, for example, they are mainly targeting the curriculum-oriented requirement of engineering colleges. Their target is only for engineering colleges. In South India alone, there are 2,000 engineering colleges. So there are companies like L&T, Wipro, they have their own training requirements. The TVS and L&T has gone ahead, they have set up their own polytechnics for imparting this skill training. The challenges, insufficient funding, that I will not go in detail. I will just tell what we are doing. I have listed very serious suggestions on this. I directly go into some initiatives in ESDM by NIELIT, that is very important. 2-3 slides I will complete this. So our motive is billion chips and million minds. That's what we are working for. And see, NIELIT centers are already into a postgraduate level, PG diploma level programs, even post-metric in electronic production maintenance. So nowhere in the country it is done, carried out other than the S12 CDT centers now, NIELIT, Aurangabad and Imphal. Only these two places we conduct MTech Electronic Design Technology, post-matric diploma in electronic product mentioned. Non-formal, we are into certificate, diploma, PG diploma programs. So capacity building one project we are doing, this is an initiative by the Department of Electronic Information Technology. It is being implemented by 3 organizations, NIELIT Aurangabad and Hyderabad CDAC and Chennai is implementing. I am not going in detail. I just, I have prepared some modular programs which we are going to launch in our centers. That anyway, because of time limitation, I will not be able to give. This is the idea is we have one MTech program which is a combination of 3 PG diploma programs. Anyone can take a PG diploma, they can work, then do another PG diploma, they collect, they store the credit and they get a MTech degree. So one MTech program is split into 3 PG diploma. Anyone can come and go, something like this. It's a cross-credit kind of activity. This is purely on electronic product design and manufacturing technology. So these are the PG diplomas. I will not go. I will just highlight the scheme which our JS was mentioning. We are in the process of developing and launching a scheme similar to OABC in software and hardware. At present, we are calling it as ESM 1. Earlier, we were planning to do it L1, L2. Because of some issues with the NVQF, we are calling it a ESM 1, Electronic Product Technicians, and ESM 2, Electronic Production Supervisor. And then similarly, ESD, Electronic System Design. ESM means Electronic System Manufacturing. These programs, once it is ready, it will be launched through private partners. Whoever is meeting the required standard of infrastructure, they can do it. In these programs, we have kept on-job training also mandatory. So we have kept 144 hours of classroom instruction and on-job training 216. The constraints in this is we need an industry partner also to conduct this program. So the training institutes like you can offer, we have the curriculum, we have the course material, everything. You have to get one industry very close to you, so that industry will provide the on-job training. This is the idea of this program. So there are 2 levels in system manufacturing and 2 levels in system design. So the details of this will be, once it is finalized, it will be publicized as well as it will be available in our website. And here the responsibility of NIELIT in this scheme is, this is the last slide, provide complete curriculum and courseware will give, provide training for trainers and quality monitoring, condition for evaluation and certification, facilitation of the scheme and interact with the industry. What we expect from the industry is the participation by offering these programs. They should provide a training on-job training facility to the students. And it should be a joint initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pillai. I think we have had a very good panel discussion, but the organizers have told me there's a paucity of time to take questions. So we'll skip it, and as soon as the panelists come down, any of you interested may address your queries or question to them, or at the end of the session or whenever we have the tea break. I would like to say that this panel definitely evoked a lot of response. ESDM, the emerging paradigm. On the one hand, the Telecom Sector Skills Council and the Electronic Sector Skills Council, formed with the industry initiative, has actually identified a whole host of jobs which require skilling and which offer the opportunities for the emerging young demographic profile of a country. On the other hand, we have NIELIT, which is addressing a very small segment of the skills requirement. I would like to request the ED of NIELIT that, as the Honorable Minister had mentioned in the morning, that you need to exponentially increase the number of institutions that you offer accreditation for, and try and see how you can expand the horizon of NIELIT. A lot of good work is there by institutions within the NIELIT umbrella, whether your centers at Calicut or at Chennai, addressing various things. I do hope that this will meet the demands of the industry, and as the Honorable Minister had mentioned, 500 million people to be skilled as the requirement of the country. And electronics offers a huge host of opportunities for our young minds. Million minds, billion chips. So I think that's a very well put thing. I would skip the question session for lack of time, and like to thank each one of the panelists. Mr. Mahindra had to leave early, Mr. Menon, Shri Goyal, Dr. Ajit, and Dr. Pillai. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ravi Shankar. Thank you all our panelists for joining us for this session. As a token of gratitude and appreciation, we would